Yikes. Sorry, everybody. Good morning, everybody. John here with FNP Wargamers. And I was not intending to do a show. I intended to go to the Veteran Affairs uh, hospital for an appointment. And I had to reschedule since I woke up approximately 45 minutes after the appointment was going to happen. So I'm here to do a quick show, so there might not be a show tomorrow. Sorry for the sudden doing the show without a lot of warning. I just posted up on Facebook today. Hey guys, we're got a show coming up. I didn't even do it the proper way. I apologize. It was just a really quick. Oh my gosh, I have to do this now. And this show will be relatively quick. I've actually been hitting the 30-minute marker lately, so I'm kind of happy about that. Oh, I'm out of coffee. God dang it. Talk about running behind today. The dregs of my coffee. I don't want to drink that. It looks cold too. So I forgot to turn the heater on last night. And it was a lovely, crisp 62 degrees in the house. I was not expecting that when I rolled out of bed this morning. So you don't want to hear about my daily life. Let's talk about a few things. I got some GW news, Games Workshop news, and I've got some Psychic Awakening news. And then I'm going to give you, probably spend about 10-15 minutes giving you my first impressions of, and my actual first full game of Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, I've played some demos, just basically learning the rules, the step-by-step process. I'm going to have to drink this coffee because I'm a little parched. Oh, man, that's disgusting. So I've never had a full-on game playing full scenario with a full roster. So yesterday, a friend of mine and one of the customers at my store, Andres, I'm sorry, I might butcher your name. Anyways, he was kind enough to come up and run me through a game, and I was really impressed, first off, by his ability to teach the game. Even though I knew how to play, I've read the rules for months, and I've done some demo games, he still ran me through step by step, almost like it was his job to make sure each step along the way. And he was kind enough to offer a couple opportunities for me to roll stuff back. And I was like, no, because in their rules, and maybe I'll pull it up here in a moment because I didn't get my entire dashboard pulled up. And in fact, I'm going to do that right now. In their organized play rules, they have a feature in there that I thought was really interesting. And I'm just going to, well, you know what? I'm already starting to give you my highlights. So let's hold off on that. Let's talk about GW first, because that's what I wanted to talk about. And this is probably one of those days that people don't want to miss, but they're going to. That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to be also start doing a log of when I'm doing these things and get it put over onto a blog. I think I got to talk to Jonathan about getting access to the blog post on the FNP Wargamers page so we can get more foot traffic there and start documenting when I drop these rumors and leaks before anybody else does. Excuse me, that time of year. So first of all, let's talk about a few things. There's lots of discussion and fan theories, which totally fine. You have your fan theories. Just don't be upset when those theories or those loosely disguised fan fiction or whatever theories don't pan out. I'm not saying you can't have them because this type of discussion is always healthy, but there's a stopping point. Once you tell your theory, that's it. You don't have to keep repeating your theory to us over and over again. We enjoy hearing those theories, but there's a natural stopping point, so make sure you pay attention to those natural stopping points. However, so there's a working theory that, first of all, the Psychic Awakening books, that every time a Psychic Awakening book, they're only getting one model. I don't know why people clung to this, why that rumor was kind of running around, or fact. If they, I kind of understand at one point, because Psychic Awakening 3, The Blood of Ball, and Psychic Awakening 2, Faith and Fury, both had one model released in conjunction with the books. Well, in a way, technically in Blood of Ball 3, there were 3 releases. 2 were kind of a stealth release. They were just the repackaging of the Hive Tyrant and the Termagant Brood. But those were models released, but they're not new models. So even though they have new barcodes and new packaging, it's still the same kit. So fair enough. That's 2 books that have one model release a piece. So that's a good working theory. However, Psychic Awakening 1, the goodness, what was that? The fall of a phoenix, or the Phoenix Rising, I think that's what it was called, had 2, 3, 4 model releases. It had Jane Czar, had Drazar for Aldari and Drakari separately, and then the Incubi and the new Banshees. And yes, those models have all been done before, but these ones have been remade. Just like we've had so many different Chaos Sorcerers from Psychic Awakening 2, and we've had at least one one Mephiston model prior to this one that released. So that's 4 new kits, and then a 1 kit and a 1 kit. So there's a bunch of rumors going around that, it's just going to be one model. We're just going to see one new model, a book, and then the speculation on what that one model gets pretty fierce on some of these forums and Facebook chat groups and Facebook pages, almost to the point where people are getting a little nasty in some of the responses, are a little snarky. And I know snarky. If you know me, I know snarky, I know snippy. And to the point where I have to make sure I tell people I'm not being snarky, I'm being actually, direct with you, because I come off a little snarky. But let's talk about so that covers that. So let's talk about another rumor. It's not a solid rumor, but it's enough of, good morning, Epion. It's enough of a rumor that's annoying that people are talking about it, and the sources, they're not the most reliable sources. I'm talking about some GW stuff, Epion. I'm talking about that, some Psychic Awakening, and then I'm going to spend a few minutes on my first impressions of my first full-length game of Marvel Crisis Protocol. And that's what I'm talking about right now is I just pretty much, I'm hoping, in a way, debunked the first rumor that there's only going to be one model release per Psychic Awakening book, because the first Psychic Awakening book was 4 model kits, 4, not 5, 4 model kits, and then it was 1 kit and one, I'm going to say like 1.5, because the Hive Tyrant and the Termagant Brood got a brand new barcode and brand new packaging. So those are brand new models. In the system, they're considered new models. Even though it's not a new model kit. So, but we can still say that was one model piece. Another weak rumor is what I was about ready to get into, was that Grey Knights are getting Primaris. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm just going to say it's not probable with Psychic Awakening 4, Lost in the Damned, or I can't remember what the name of the book was. I should have pulled that up. Oh, Ritual of the Damned. There we go. I was close. Ritual of the Damned, they're like, this is where they're going to get their Primaris Grey Knights. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No, it's not probable. It's probably not going to happen. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Now, when they get their actual codex, I foresee that they could get it. I could see them getting their Primaris Marines. Just like I foresee Thousand Suns getting new Marines, not rubric Marines, but something similar. I'll get to that in just a moment. We got some really awesome, juicy rumors going on right now. So, so likely Psychic Awakening 4, the Ritual of the Damned, they are not going to be getting Primaris Grey Knights. Sorry. Well, with the exception of a character that will set the standard for later on. So let's move past that. Before I get on to the character that should be popping up in this, or possibly popping up, let's talk about that Thousand Sun rumor I just mentioned. That short story that just happened, and what Magnus has been doing behind the scenes is recruiting psychers. And since there's so many human psychers out there, hey, good morning, Texas. Texas Wargamer. Sorry if anybody's on YouTube going, why are you saying hello to or morning to Texas? The Psychic Awakening has just seen this explosion of psychic characters. Like in Faith and the Fury, I think it was Faith and Fury. They were talking about so many humans that I think it was almost near the entire population of a planet had become conduits for the Emperor's psychic power. They were like channeling beams of light and fire and stuff, just destroying chaos at every turn. And it was absolutely ridiculous. So there's a lot of psychers now, and Magnus is no fool. He probably already knew this was coming. You know, his whole Zinch, I can see the future thing. And so he's recruiting, gathering up, converting, just outright stealing people, kidnapping people, not stealing, but kidnapping people, some psychic human trafficking going on there. And there's a fairly interesting rumor. I can't put a lot of validity to it because we haven't seen any traction, but Games Workshop likes to hide things in their stories, in their novels, in their short stories. So, and they're very good at it because you never know exactly where it's going with that. You know, is that just like okay, that's a cool story bit, or is that a glimpse into the future? I think I can kind of agree. I can see the direction that they're going, that him recruiting all these young psychers, or even the older psychers, that he is going to be essentially trying to make new Thousand Sun Marines with all these human psychers. Or a new so that means we could be seeing a new living Rubric Marine, and or a new type of unit like a psychic conclave. We could see that not in this book, Psychic Awakening 4, The Ritual of the Damned, but when Thousand Suns book is later revealed, and they're like, hey guys, we're going to put this book out. You guys got a bunch of new models already, but you know us, we like to do new things. And what a way for them to get people to buy that new book and new models by releasing some new units, new updated lore. So it's possible. And with, and I don't want to hear people say, the lore does not substantiate that, does not sustain that, support that. There we go. I knew it was an S word. Does not support that. And so you can't just make an adult or a teenager into a Space Marine. Well, yes and no. We've seen them during a Horus Heresy. We saw them turn adults into just shy of being Space Marines, and then they would put them. Usually the first generation of those Marines, or they were like loyal servants and stuff. So they got everything all the way up until a point to where they can't do the implantation process of all the organs. So they got all the super upgrades, and then got turned. Then here's your Marine armor. You're an honorary dude. Those words all worked for the point. Oh, thank you. So it's definitely possible to get them there, or all the way there, or just there. And we're also talking about Magnus, who is absolutely brilliant, and he's got all of his psychic shenanigans. He could probably be the one to pull this off, turning a bunch of young adults, 20-somethings, the cast of Friends, into into full-blown Marines. And you know what? It's been 10,000 years. Maybe they've found a way. Who knows? I mean, it's sci-fi. They can, alter the deal however they want. And you're just gonna have to suck it. And I understand, that some people think that Primaris Marines break canon or lore. They don't. It's additional lore. It's not like they went back and retconned how Space Marines are made. They just made, this is a new evolution of the Space Marines. We found a way. It took us like 10,000 years, but we found a way to improve it, because this guy over here that thought outside of the box, Belisarius Call, figured out a way, because he was not worried about doctrine and dogma, basically paying attention to the church, what the church has to say. He did it his way, figured it out, and now they've got an improved Space Marine. So who knows? I think it's a strong possibility that we could see a new Rubik style Marine based off all these humans that he's capturing, or a new cultist like unit, basically a psychic bomb unit. We'll see. It's a possibility. Once again, I'm not putting a lot of validity behind it, but it's plausible. Not impossible, but not highly probable. I'd put it in a low probability. I'd put it well below 50%. I'd probably put it closer to 25. Just to be generous, I say 25, 30% chance that one or two of those things will happen in the future. If it happens right now, man, that'll be awesome. I would love it, but I don't see that happening because there's been no workup for it. There's been nothing cited in the rumor engine that would hint to that. That doesn't mean they can't still do it, but it's just a slight possibility. Okay, so let's get on to the next rumor so I can get on talking about the Marvel Crisis Protocol full playthrough. Well, as much full playthrough I can get, and then get out of here and get to work. Let's see here. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So the last thing is I'm mixed on. I think I know which direction they're going with for this. At least one of the characters for Psychic Awakening 4, the Ritual of the Damned. But there's so many rumors about characters, it's become very muddied and mired in rumors and guesswork, wish listing, lots of wish listing, like major wish listing, that I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this together and we're gonna go from there. So first off, I think this one has some good credibility here. Well, actually, this is me piecing stuff together. This is not from somebody else. This is me piecing stuff together. So if you're one of those sites, I know a couple of you will watch the show on YouTube, or not here on Twitch. You've seen the show on YouTube, and then you've written articles. I know this now. At least one person. So if you're on Bell of Lost Souls, or you're on Spiky Bits, or you're a certain gentleman or lady in the US or UK that does your own show, at least give me credit and the channel credit for talking about this. It's really appreciated, and this is how we share information back and forth. Because I most certainly, if I have found information on your guys' sites, I turn around and say, make sure I give credit where credit is due. So please give credit where credit is due. So let's talk about the next character. So here's the solid rumors that I've got, or not solid rumors, but here's the rumors before I get to my deductive reasoning, or yeah, I'm not gonna try to do some fancy words there. So let us talk about the first one, a Grey Knight character that'll be Primaris. I was talking about that earlier. This is the more likely scenario that we're going to see right now. If this was to happen, I'm not giving it a lot of credibility, a lot of validity. I'm just going to say that it's possible. Not probable, but possible. So the first one will be a Primaris Grey Knight character, and it'll be Drago. He is one of the front runners, but I don't think people are thinking about his lore. That Drago keeps getting bounced around from all over the place. I don't think he is going to have the time to go through the Rubicon to become a Primaris Marine. So it's possible, it's just not probable. I mean, we're talking low probability, but it could happen. I like always saying, it's not impossible, it's just not probable, because, I mean, it's a fictional character, so it could very well be, they could do whatever they want with him. They can have him transform into a woman, for all I know. I mean, look what happened to that Khorne Berserker in the Storm of Iron book, killed by a female, oh god, goodness, a female guard officer, a lieutenant, and she eventually dons his armor and becomes a female Khorne Berserker and goes off into the warp. Yeah, you don't think I'm wrong, or you think I'm wrong, check out Storm of Iron, and you can apologize later. The next one, Ezekiel, the current no, that's Azrael. Ezekiel, I put Ezekiel there, but it could be Ezekiel, Asmodai, Belial, Samael, and or Azrael. Man, there's a lot of eels, hells, whatever. A lot of angelic names there for the Dark Angels. So you have a potential of 5 characters. I doubt Samael. I doubt Belial, because I just don't think that those would work. So that leaves us with Asmodai, the chaplain, interrogator, reclusiarch, master of all, whatever his titles are. We got Ezekiel, the super chief librarian, and then we got Azrael. He is the chapter master. So really 3 strong candidates with a possible 2 others. But I think those 3 are those 3: the chief librarian, the chapter master, and the reclusiarch, or chief interrogator, are the most likely candidates to become a Rubicon, or cross the Rubicon to become a Primaris Marine. Is it going to happen? No idea. Definitely, I would say they definitely have a stronger possibility than Drago. And I'm talking like, let's say we put Drago as a 10% opportunity. I would put one of these 3 characters, or who knows, all 3 freaking characters. I would lower the odds there, but one of those 3 characters becoming, I would put it probably about 3 or 4 times as, to put them around 30-40% chance of one of those characters becoming a Primaris Marine and being the release for during Ritual of the Damned. We don't know. There's also the possibility of them doing a brand new Thousand Suns character, or I don't know how many of the original Thousand Suns, like Ahriman, is still around. I think Amon might still be around, or he might be a Dreadnought now. Amon. I think he was one of those people that was high up in the ranks with Ahriman. I don't know if he's still alive. I should have researched that before I start yammering about it. But the possibility of giving us a new Thousand Suns character. I doubt it, because they have everything on their line, with the exception of the Chaos vehicles, are brand new kits. So they really don't need nothing new updated. So I don't think it'll be a Thousand Suns character. Very small possibility, very probable, but not impossible. Or not impossible, you know what I mean. So these are the kind of weak rumors. Now I'm going to get into the last 2. My pick, the one I've kind of deduced, and then the Lion is the one I want to talk about right now. So the Lion, Lionel Johnson, the Primarch of the not Grey Knights, the Dark Angels. We know he's in some sort of psychic induced coma. We know he's passed out, sleeping a very, very long time, and he's being basically held in stasis. He's got the little creepy watcher guys checking him out, the little, probably like baby Yodas or Yodas, just with the hoods on, and they've been keeping him company for like 10,000 years. So Psychic Awakening, this could be, especially since the Emperor has been putting out that psychic conference call, which I already told you guys about. I called it a conference call. Nobody believed me. And what happened? There's a whole planet. I don't know. There's not a planet over there. I don't know why I'm pointing over there, but I'm going to point over there. There's a whole planet where almost every single citizen became a psychic conduit for the Emperor. And he just started they just started unleashing all their psychic energy at Chaos. And or it might have been Tyrannus. Regardless, And Sisters of Battle were trying to scoop him up and get him out of there because they were obviously channeling the holy power of the Emperor. So, you know, if he's not doing a psychic conference call, putting out the call to everybody, going, "Hey, jackasses, wake up! I need you. A, because I'm hungry and I need my Happy Meals because I eat psychics, and B, we need to push back against chaos and Xenos." So that psychic conference call is happening. I know some people don't like that terminology or they don't want to believe me, but come on, this is it. It started with the Plague War book when an avatar, essentially an avatar or a vessel of the Emperor, was chit chatting with Mortarion and not Rogel Dorn, Robute Gilliman. So it's happening. So it's only a matter of time before that phone just keeps ringing and ringing and reeking, and the line is like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Because I've got to cuss at least once or twice a video. Would you please frickin' stop calling my damn phone, Dad? You're getting all those text messages, you're getting those phone calls. Where are you? What are you doing? Wake up. You got to get to work. You're going to be late. You're going to ruin your life just sleeping all day. That's the calls. Those are the texts that the line is going to be getting. That's the way I'm looking at it. He is getting annoyed by his dad to wake up. So this is a strong possibility. I'm going to put it definitely at the 50% mark, because what a way to kick off the new year with an explosive, amazing release. So I'm going to put it around the 50%, probably a little lower. I'll probably put it about 40% chance, just to be. I might be a little overzealous, probably a little bit overzealous. My estimation that it could be the line. It would be a great opportunity, because then they could release that model, right? Everybody be happy with that model. They'd have his rules in there. They'd put the rules probably up online or something. And then now they have this model, and they're going to need to get the new codex later on this year or next year. Possibility. Now, here's what I think is actually going to happen. I need to do this. Chapter math. Dark Angels have, if you remember, not too long ago, well, a couple of years ago, there was the Dark Vengeance box set, right? And in the Dark Vengeance box set, you had a lovely character named Company Master Balthazar. Company Masters are the captains of the companies. Company Master Balthazar was the main character in Dark Vengeance. And from the time that Balthazar and Dark Vengeance to 8th edition, essentially, until the Great Rift opened up, Balthazar was the 5th company master. He was in charge of it all. He was not a Primaris Marine. I was before Primaris Marines. And he did a pretty good job. He was actually a very, very interesting character. And I think he actually took leadership after the original company master died at the hands of the... Oh, gosh, I can't remember this guy's name. The Blood something. Oh, goodness. I cannot remember the name. They had their own supplement book in 6th edition. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. So he became the master. And then during the Great Rift, he got killed. So a new guy took over. And this guy, and this comes out if you've read September White Dwarf 2019, there was a short story in there that or not even a short story, it was just a little snippet. The Dark Angels are very resistant to the whole Primaris experience. They don't want nothing to do with the Primaris. They're not very happy with the Primaris Marines. They don't want to be involved with them because they don't trust them. But during some conflicts that were going on, now let's see if I can find the actual conflict on the Ice World of Rimnock. That's where he was pretty much severely damaged. But before then, let's set the stage. So he was led his 5th company against the Rock and the Fenris system, essentially the Space Wolves, during the return of Magnus. If you remember back at the end of 7th edition, when Magnus came back and the fall of Fenris and everything was going on, the Dark Angels came and were trying to whoop the crap out of the Space Wolves because they're like, oh, you're dirty heretics. They were actually tricked by the Changeling and other Tzeentchian sorcery. And so that pissed them off. They rally, they turn around, and we're helping the Space Wolves. It was like, oh shit, our bad, dude, our bad. I think it's my second cuss word. I think I'm allowed one more before we start losing any monetization. And I'm gonna not be able to talk about. Gosh darn, I'm not gonna be able to talk about the Marvel thing. I'm gonna have to probably redo my title. Oh, all right. Anyways, so here it is. Chapter Master, or not Chapter Master, Company Master, Lazarus. They developed, especially him, developed a powerful hatred for the Thousand Sons, and of course, by default, followers of Tzeentch. After that incident took place, very pissed off. I think a lot of Dark Angels were because they were tricked, and that's another shameful thing with their past by them keeping secret that like a third of their legion betrayed. I'm going to say a third. I don't know if that's the actual number. A third of their legion turned traitor, I guess, or renegade. I shouldn't say traitor. They turned renegade. So, that's a dirty secret that somehow nobody's figured out over 10,000 years, which is bull. But let's get my third word out of the way. Bullshit. Anyways, so he got effed up on Warzone Stygius, which I'm guessing, actually I'm going to click on this one, and while that's loading up, I will keep reading here. So he is very badly injured, too severe that he couldn't be, and this is the weird thing, too severe that he could not be in a dreadnought. Think about that. Too severe not to be in a dreadnought, but not severe enough that they couldn't have him go through the Rubicon process. Now remember, Dark Angels don't like these new recruits, these new Primaris Marines, but one of their own is going to become a Primaris Marines. And this is kind of one of those things like, okay, this is not too bad. He's one of ours. We're cool with this. And then they might be a little bit more opening to it. So he managed to survive it. He's fully healed. He's feeling very awesome. He becomes a member of the Dark Angels inner circle. And he is got a hard-on for going after the forces of Thousand Sons and by default Tzeentch. All right. So that is my pick. Stygius. I'm checking out that Stygius thing. Yep, Codex Supplement, Iron Hands, they talk about it. It's talked about in 8th edition. Okay, I was wondering if it was like an apocalypse scenario or thing. All right, so that's my pick. That is going to be 5th Company. The Company Master, Lazarus, is going to be the character. So you heard it here first. Is it going to be true? I don't know. I really hope so. I think that would be absolutely amazing if they did that. It'd make me very happy that they do a new character. But in reality, I would like to see the Lion come back. I don't care about the Drago, Ezekiel, any of the other named characters. Let's inject some new blood, start some new lore, because these characters have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years in lore wise, not in reality, and it's time to get some fresh blood in there. So I'm gonna put my money down on 5th Company Master Lazarus as being the model that is released for Psychic Awakening 4, the Ritual of the Damned. We will see. I put the Lion as a real strong possibility. Then the other at least one of the other characters as another possibility. So we'll see. I mean, it's a hard guessing like this is such hard work. What I think is kind of interesting today, and before I log off, actually I'm just going to have to log off, and I might do a show tonight and talk about my first impressions. Yeah, I'll do that real quick here. I like that they're probably over the next couple days, because this is the time of year that Games Workshop slows down on their leaks and rumors, and we get very, very little. It's very annoying, so they're just kind of recapping last year, and this tells you kind of their almost desperation for content. So they're showing Well, last year, what did we give you guys? Well, we gave you Gloomspite Gits in January. Yeah, that was awesome release. We some fantastic models, fantastic lore, and then February we got Gene Stealer Cults. We were very happy about that. A lot of people were happy about that. Blackstone Fortress got their first upgrade kit, and then a couple other things were done. And then March, we saw Chaos. That was the Vigilus Ablaze came out in the Bing Bean. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a night show. It'll probably be about 9:30. So, hey Escalante. Um, so really cool that they came out with that. We got to see the brand new Abaddon. Everybody was you know yeah. I'm gonna talk about. For those of you that are on YouTube not seeing this, talking to Escalante. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol tonight, my first impressions, and some minor tips just from my first impressions to kind of give people a solid run through. And then, let's see, we're still on March. Yep, there was Sanguinius came out. A whole bunch of awesome Blades of Corn stuff come out. April, we saw the lovely, lovely Greater Demon of Slanesh. Oh, so beautiful. Mm-mm-mm. Anyways, you guys know how I feel about that. And then their first of their horror series. So it's kind of cool that they're doing this, going, hey, look what we did for you guys in each of these months. Just to remind you that this is the sort of things that we did. And we're going to have more, probably tomorrow will be the next couple months, what is 4 months here. So they'll do another probably 4 months, and then Wednesday. So Friday they'll do another 4 months, and then they'll wrap up the year, and everybody will be super happy. And they're probably actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Friday or even Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but then sometime after Friday that they're going to do what to expect in the new year. So we'll get some weird sneak peeks, because I think this Saturday, I could be wrong, but I think this Saturday is a Warhammer Open Day, or in the very near future. I'm going to look into that. And so that means we're going to get a sneak peek. All right, I got to get going. I will be talking about Marvel Crisis Protocol, my first impressions, and of an actual full game. And we're going to go into some tips and tricks that will hopefully get you through the game. At least some tips on to make the game fully enjoyable. I'm not going to give a lot of trade secrets, the tactics and stuff just yet. We'll talk about that later. I might go into it a little bit, but the idea is to give my first impressions and then some tips to enhance the game for you. And if Escalante's on, he can hopefully support me on that or chime in. All right, I got to get going because I need to get to work early today so I can leave work early. Yeah. All right. You all have yourself a wonderful day. Make sure you hit that subscribe. I've got to find my finger here. Get that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, or if you're not on YouTube, whatever, get over there, subscribe, leave a comment on the YouTube upload here in probably about 30, 40 minutes. I'll have that uploaded. Jump over there, like it, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and leave a comment, because the more comments I get on those YouTube channels, those YouTube shows, and I can reply to those a lot easier, especially if it's after the show. That helps grow that channel. And once we get to 3,000 people, which we're almost there, I think we're like 30 some odd bodies away, we will start opening doors for some new possibilities of getting not free stuff, but leaks and preview copies, beta testing, which I'm actually reached out to Renegade Games Studios to see if I can be a beta tester for Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition. If you remember that game from way back in the day, I'm trying to get be one of the beta testers or a copy so I can talk about it on the channel. And since we've been kind of moving towards some RPG stuff, so we'll see if that happens. Anyways, I got to get going. I'm well over my time. Y'all have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. It's Wednesday. We're almost there at the weekend. You guys that are college or high school, you're almost out for winter break until the beginning of January, or sometime around the beginning of January. You're almost there. Work guys and gals, the weekend's almost there. Is almost here. So